What up, what up, what up? We are back. Who am I? Jersey Street Corner, and this is the Prison Talk Show, people. Alright, y'all. Today, we're going to talk about stealing, but not just regular petty stealing. I'm talking about pod jumping, stealing, popping lockers, all throughout the jail, people. What happens when inmates lose their items and they don't know who to point the fingers at? Coming up next, we're going to get into it. Alright, people. So today's video is going to be about Fridays in prison. Why are Fridays so important? Why are Fridays so deadly? Because on Fridays, well, people call it Cash Out Fridays. Yeah. Now, in jail or prison, depending on where you are, commissary probably comes in on Thursday. Excuse me, y'all. So, when the commissary comes in on Thursday, everybody knows what everybody gets, pretty much, because it's not like it's, hidden. You're on a line right behind somebody, and they speak out, they say every item that's in the bag and confirm that that's your order and you got everything that you ordered. So the person behind you, excuse me, y'all, sorry. The person behind you hears 2 bars of soap, 10 soups, 2 Jack Mac. They hear all of that. Every dorm, every pod has a spotter, y'all. Now, what's a spotter? I'm going to tell you what a spotter is. A spotter, first of all, this cold game was being run by the Bloods. So a spotter is normally a Blood who's spotting. He's eye hustling. He's in the pod looking and waiting to see who come with that big bag every Friday. Who got that bag? Because I'm going to have to let my homies know who got the money in this pod. So when the Fridays roll around, if they choose to hit my pod, well, y'all already know we're going straight to them. Now, this is the way it will work. So, there's about 6 pods, I believe, was in this prison. And the Bloods, which my cousin Dee Dee, a Blood named Man Man, B Murder, and CKB. These are all Bloods. They're in my pod. They would get together and they would decide what pod they was going to hit up this week. Now, it will be random, y'all. Sometime they would do the same pod 2 weeks in a row. They would switch up. They would do this pod 1 week. Then next week they'd do this pod. Then back to this pod. And they'll keep it in full motion. But they'll always mix it up so nobody ever know who was doing what. And the reason for that, the way they got away with it was because there were so many people in the pods that actually was getting decent sized commissary bags that nobody would notice. They would just think it's somebody in that actual pod that's robbing them. In actuality, it was because the spotter was from their pod telling they homies who to come on over and hit. So this would go on for weeks and weeks and weeks. They'll wait till people go out the mess call. They'll wait till they go out the yard. They'll wait till people in the shower. Whatever it is. Whatever time they knew that they could get into the pods when there was going to be mostly nobody in the pods to notice them, that's when they would strike, y'all. And now, they had an officer on their side. An officer by the name of C.O. Brown. Yes, I'm going to say his name, y'all. And I'm going to tell y'all the reason why. I actually mentioned him in another video that explained in full length about C.O. Brown, the shenanigans he was into, and, well, what led to him being a convicted felon eventually. But you're going to have to watch the other video to hear that story. Anyway, C.O. Brown would let these guys into the other pods. When nobody was looking, He'd unlock the door. Go ahead, slide on it. Go ahead. Knowing these guys in the mess hall, or he would know where the movement was happening at. So they would go right to the locker that they knew. They didn't have to waste time hopping lockers. They already knew who had that bag because the spotter already told them what bed number and everything to go to. So they made a beeline right for the locker that they knew that they had to hit, put the towel around the lock, and pop that sucker right on off, loaded that bag up, and they hauled on that. Right on back to the pod. And now the homies get to eat off of you. And you don't have no idea it wasn't even nobody in your own pod that did it. Nah, this would start war, y'all. I mean, it was people in the pods fighting for no reason. So what would normally happen? They would come back, notice they stuff missing, and immediately they'd make an announcement. If they was on that, if they're about that life, they'd make an announcement. Hey, if anybody in here got the balls to take something from me when I'm not here, come do it now. Come do it now. Come take it while I'm right here. If I find out who touched my stuff, it's going to be a problem. As a matter of fact, I'm coming looking for my stuff. Whoever got a problem with that, say something. I want to see everybody's bags now. So now, dude is going around cell to cell. And for the most part, he's following the rules. He's being polite. He's not barging in people's cells. But still, he's aggressive. He at your cell, this big gorilla, like, hey, yo, you got my stuff? Man, nah, homeboy, I ain't got your stuff. Let me see your bag. Pull it up in the air. He's not walking in the cell, so being that he's being respectful to you, at least oblige him. Pick your bag up. He can see clearly. Nah, because he know exactly what's in his bag, what should be in his bag. So now, what does he do? He ends up going to the local thief, the guy that's known to steal and rob. This dude ain't had nothing to do with it. He over there laying in his bunk, half asleep. Big dude go up to him, smack him on the side of his head. Hey, yo, you came and took my stuff? He said, nah, man, I don't know what you talking about. Dude sees he got the same soups that he had in his bag. And then he saw some of the same cleaning, hygiene products sitting on the side of his bunk. You lying, dude. You lying. That's my stuff right there. And so is that. He like, hey, man, I ain't touch your stuff, man. I ain't touch your stuff, man. Dude wasn't trying to hear none of that, man. He started beating on the dude. He in the bunk. He just went, boom, boom. Pulled the little shank out, start poking dude up right in his bed. We in a dorm, y'all. He in a dorm. He ain't in a cell. He in a dorm. Then he bounce, run on off, try to act like it didn't happen. Man, this man got poked up, and he ain't even do the stealing. Now he got to go to the infirmary. He was alright. He made it. He ain't go back on that pod. They put him in PC. But that's just one example, y'all. That is just one example. This would happen through all of the 6 pods. People will be fighting for no reason, thinking that somebody stole their stuff. Well, all I can say is the homies ate good. We had honey buns. We had candy bars. We had Mountain Dews. We had so many packs of Newports and Black and Milds, we got bored of smoking, y'all. We had Bugler roll-ups. We had shots of coffee. I mean, anything. We had stamps, y'all. Do you know what you could do with stamps? How much money you could get with stamps? People want stamps, y'all. Everything is worth money. Now, we're not about to just squander all of that commissary. We're going to split it up amongst all of the homies. And what's left, y'all, we're going to sell it off for 4 times its worth. That's right. That's just how we was getting down. And if you wanted to survive, you got down with us. And if you didn't get down with us, You got rolled over. And that's just what it was. So don't be looking at these videos online thinking, oh, it's sweet in jail. It's sweet in prison. I could do a bid standing on my head. Man, y'all talking about light work. Nah, it ain't no light work. You fighting for your life, homie. If you don't know nobody, don't go to prison. Because you will get abused physically and mentally. And if you're not ready for that, if you're not ready to defend yourself, to pick that blade up and back somebody down, well, you better stay your ass home, homie. Stay out of the prison systems, young people. I'm trying to tell you, ain't nothing there but trouble. You better stay home where you can watch X-Men and all the nice movies you want to, all of the jail movies you want to on TV, all of the superhero shit. Because in jail, these guys ain't coming to save you. Nah, they not gonna save you when Big Bubba wanna take your butt. Alright, y'all. That's gonna be it for this one. This is just a little short video to give y'all an idea of what Fridays was in the penitentiary. We rob, we steal, and we unalive for that commissary. Don't be a victim, y'all. Just don't come here. Don't come here, y'all. Man, they ain't care who they robbed. As long as they wasn't blood, as long as they wasn't the homie, they didn't care who they robbed. So, they made it a habit of robbing Crips. For no reason at all. Now, it's not like the Crips was going to just straight up start a war with the Bloods without proof. You can't just go and accuse another gang member of stealing your stuff without hardcore evidence. Because you fitting to start a gang war. Now, you do that, especially on a lower level, yeah, you facing some discipline charges now, homie. So, prison politics warrant you need proof, either visual or factual proof that that other gang member stole your stuff before we can actually do something. Because we put the beat down on the wrong person, now is a problem. So they will be hitting gang members left and right. It wasn't just the Crips, but they liked robbing the Crips. They'd hit the Nietas. They'd hit the Gods. They'd hit everybody, y'all. And they hit the neutral people, too. They even hit Little Tony and his boys, the Italians. These guys were ruthless with it. They knew if they got in that pod, where they had to go and who had the bag. And they wasn't going to let it pass, y'all. Now, it was more than one person in the pod that had the bag. It was at least 10 lockers in each pod that was loaded, y'all. I mean loaded. Looked like they could barely close it. Soups and everything piling out of it. Just overflowing. And the funny thing, y'all, most pods have this trust thing where I never got with it. I'm going to tell you about that real quick after this. But so you get into a pod and a lot of times, and all right, I'm going to tell you about it now. This is exactly what happened to me when my first time in, and this is what happened. I went in, put all my stuff in my locker, and immediately, y'all, me being from the streets, I put my lock on my locker. You get a combination lock. You buy a lock. I put my lock on the locker. Boom. Locked it up. Just getting ready to head out. My bunkie said, hey, you know, around here, you don't gotta do that. You don't gotta lock your locker up around here. Nobody steal around here. And I'm looking at him like, word, alright. So, and you know, it was like a thing. He kept saying something about it. He was like, yeah, you know, people be looking at it like funny or whatever. You lock your locker or whatever, like, you know, like you're scared or something like. And I'm like, oh, alright. So this is my first time. And I said, alright, Next day, took that locker off, and I left it unlocked. And nobody touched my stuff. And I asked OG, I said, hey, so what do people order the locks for if they don't want them on their lockers? He said, oh, that's a weapon. That's where I learned about the lock in the sock or the lock in the pillowcase. He said, yeah, you get one or two of these locks. You double up your socks. You get like 2 or even 3 socks. Put 2 of those locks in there. You tie a knot real tight. Now, them socks are strong. You get 3 of them. You swing that thing and you bang it across somebody's head. You got you a hardcore cold weapon, man. And I said, oh. And that's what I learned about the lock and the sock. Very useful information for the future, people. Would prove useful. So, that would be the time I learned, yeah, sometimes listening to people just ain't the right thing to do. A few weeks would go by, and eventually, y'all, now this is way before I bumped into my cousin Dee or anything like that. I'm just giving y'all an example of how it feels like to get your locker popped or robbed. I didn't have the lock on at the time. I came back from mess hall one day. All my stuff was gone. My Black and Milds, my soups. And I said, hey, who was up here in my cell? Who came over here and helped themselves to my goods? I need to see somebody right now in the bathroom. I need to see the punk who couldn't come and rob me and had to go and steal and be sneaky like a little rat in the night and steal. Ain't nobody step up. I took my shirt off, y'all. Now I'm jacked at the time. I'm talking about 200, at least 200 time. I'm jacked. I'm like, all right, then I'll be in the back. I'll be in the back. Lace my boots up tight, y'all. Tight, double lace. I'll be in the back waiting. I'll be back there. My boy, he came and said, yo, I think it was this dude over here. That's the one that be stealing all the shit. He been bothering everybody on the low. So I said, I bet. I go on over to his cell. I said, yo, get off the bunk. So what you talking about, man? Get off the bunk. I want to check under your mat. Yeah, nah. I said, get off the bunk, bro. I'm going to ask you one last time. Dude ain't want to get off the bunk. He was sitting on the bunk. I'm standing. So the doors now, where we was at this facility, anybody on the outside could pop the door open with the back of their spoon. It was that cheap. Could pop the doors right open. So we regularly locked in. We'll lock the doors to fight. I locked the door behind me. Just start pounding on dude. Boom! 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 Ever touch my stuff? Ever touch my stuff? Boom! I done busted a couple of this dude's teeth out. Now I'm pounding on him, beating on him. And yeah, y'all, it was him. He really took my stuff. I got most of it back. He had already traded some of it off. And that's one thing you don't do. In prison politics, somebody trades something, that's theirs now. Unless you're going to be super goon and go fighting everybody that done traded off with stolen goods, nah, just leave it alone. Cut it off at the source. I beat the brakes off a dude. I told him if he hit that gate and tell him what happened, he going to pay with his life. And well, I never got robbed again, y'all. My homeboy popped that lock open, let me up out of that cell. I went on back, washed off my knuckles, Went, sat back down in the day room, watched TV. Dude got his jaw broke for being a thief. So can you imagine the chaos that was going on when Diddy and his boys was out robbing pod after pod after pod? It was chaos going on in this jail, people. Something had to be done. They came in there with the squad, y'all. They came in there with the Turtle Squad, and they posted up every dorm, during mess hall, during rec out. They wanted this stuff to stop. Diddy got a hold of officer. That's what I'm calling him. Officer. Because he ain't care about none of that jail politics. He ain't care about his job. He cared about making bread. That's what he was there for, to make bread. He told them a heads up, listen, man, they posting up, y'all gonna have to fall back for a few months. Y'all been getting it off. Y'all can't run this game no more for at least 2 months. Wait till things die down and they not watching. So that's what was happening, y'all. They fell back. Nobody ever found out that it was them that was running that game and robbing everybody and causing the chaos in jail. But they almost turned that medium facility into a max level. Yeah, y'all. They were talking about bringing in National Guard because this prison was getting out of hand. And they was going to have to change the status and try their best to get lower offenders up out of here because they can't live in here with these monsters. We can't put these chomos in here with these monsters and these squares. They going to get robbed and stolen from and beat up and treated like busters. So, that's what happened. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I drop a new video every other day, and you never know what corner's gonna be talking about. If you have any specific topics you'd like to hear, get in the DMs, people. I need to hear your suggestions. But right now, I need you to hit that like button, share the videos, and subscribe. Show your boy Corner some love. Alright, y'all, with that, we out.